Tom Hitchcock here. Happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday to you as well, Tom.
Thank you. It's been a long week this week. So, whereabouts are you based in the world?
I'm based in Amsterdam.
Fantastic. I can't say on here what I would have said in Dutch. I lived in Amstelveen, for just under a year.
Oh, wow. I'm in Amsterdam Zuid, so not very, very far from Amstelveen.
Amstelveen. I did all over Amsterdam, but I spent most of my time in Amstelveen, and I loved it. I had a really good time. Is that where you're from originally?
No, I'm originally from India. So I have been living outside of India for the past 8 years. But my husband and I moved to Amsterdam just 3 years ago.
Okay, all right. Okay, so Spec the Netherlands?
Sorry, say that again?
Spec the Netherlands?
I don't speak Dutch. I can understand the greetings and all, but I don't speak Dutch.
I'll tell you a very, very quick story, but cutting the crude bits out for you. So I lived there for just under 1 year. I did one job and it didn't work out for me. So I started doing a sales job there, which was commission only. Okay. And I couldn't speak any Dutch, which is normal. And in Amsterdam, you can get away with it. But they told me, they said, you're going to areas in Holland where they don't speak English. And I said, it's okay. I'll just point at my information. And eventually what happened is they taught me some very bad things to say to the Dutch that don't speak English, and it is a very harsh lesson, and one of the reasons why I picked up enough of another language very quickly. So when I was there, I started to dream in Dutch. I was reading the Metro on the tram, just so I was putting like the football scores together so that I could word it all up and pick it up quite quickly.
Yeah. So actually it's intentional why I haven't started learning Dutch. The reason is that my husband and I we love traveling. And that's the reason why we have lived in 4 different countries. So we are not going to be in the Netherlands, forever. And Dutch is mostly spoken in the Netherlands, unless you go to, other places where the Dutch had colonized. So that's why we haven't started learning Dutch.
Fair enough. Okay, so where's next on your where you're going to spin the globe and point your finger where you end up?
My dream is to be in Japan at least for 4 to 5 months or maybe 6 months. So we are going to make that happen either next year or next to next year.
Okay. All right. Well, you're coming a bit closer to me then, so you can pop over for a long weekend and we'll have another conversation.
Oh, yes. Happy to. Thank you, Tom.
So, okay. All right. So we understand you're from India. You've been living in Holland for 3 years. Japan's on the radar. You like traveling. But so I'm getting a nice flavour from you. Obviously we've got SalesHarbor in the background, so I'm picking an entrepreneurial mindset with itchy feet.
Yeah. So all right. So I started SalesHarbor last year in November. Last year was 2023. I don't know when your audience is going to watch this. So in November 2023. And the reason why I started SalesHarbor was that I have over 20 years of experience in technology sales. So I've been with Microsoft, Oracle, I've sold products, services, and I've sold almost in every part of the world because I've been traveling and I was, selling across different regions. So last year, I started reading business books, and, I always wanted to have a business, but I always was hesitant in taking the leap because there's a consistent salary coming in, and who doesn't want that and all of that. So last year I read Think and Grow Rich, my first ever business book, and it occurred to me that I need to first list down all my ideas and see where my skill set is. So my skill set, of course, is in sales. So I came up with SalesHarbor. So SalesHarbor is a B2B lead generation agency. So we help my clients get their dream clients. So I act like a bridge between my clients and their clients. And we do that through cold email outreach, LinkedIn outreach, and all of that. So I have 8 clients so far. And my clients are globally. So some of them are in the US, Canada, Europe. I have one of my Canadian clients who's targeting Australia. So I'm also targeting the Australian market for him. So I have all sorts of clients. Now, running the business for 8 months, I realized that there's a gap in the market. So I started working on a SaaS tool. I'm calling it as a Bear Connect. So on this podcast, I cannot tell much about it, but in a month, I'll be able to, and it will be all over on LinkedIn and everything. But what it does is it's an outreach tool, and it can help salespeople close more deals. So in a month, I'm crossing my fingers, the MVP of Bear Connect will be ready. And then I already have like 25 early users who are ready to test the product. And then we're going to go live.
Yeah, exciting. Okay, so I'm happy I got it right with the entrepreneurial spirit, so that's there. And I'm gonna dig into businesses a little bit soon. For people that not necessarily business owners listening to this, but maybe getting a feel for shall I or shan't I? What do you reckon was the big moment for you to decide to, okay, I'm going to go from the safety net of a salary over into business, and what was the processes you went through?
So that's a very good question, Tom. It took me 10 years to do that. You know,
Okay.
I have been working there since the age of 22. I'm 43 right now. And in 2014, my husband and I, we backpacked for a year. We traveled to like 7 different countries for 1 year, blew all our savings. And that's when the travel bug caught me. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to have a 9 to 5 job, for the rest of my life. I want to be able to save enough so that I can work from any part of the world. So that's when it occurred to me. And for the last 10 years, I haven't been able to do that. It was only last year why I was able to took the leap, because in my previous organization where I was working, it was a Dutch technology company. I set up their lead generation team, and that gave me the confidence that if I can do it for one company, I can do it for others. Now I haven't answered your question. So the leap, so for people who are beginning or who want to start their own business, I would say there are 2 ways to start your business. One is bootstrapping, which I am doing, and I was able to do that because of my savings. So I am not in credit, and I don't want to get into credit, so because of my savings. But people who do not have savings, they have to rely maybe on external funds, or maybe they have to rely on their family, friends funds, or whatever. So you have to first take that decision, whether you want to bootstrap or whether you want to raise funds. That's one. Second, whether you want to build a service or a product. So I come from services, because SalesHarbor is services, and then I wanted to get into product. Even though in Oracle and Microsoft, I was selling products, so I have experience selling both. So you have to first decide whether it's going to be a services industry or a product industry. And that you can decide from your own skill set, own experience, what gives you happiness and all of that. So I read somewhere, I won't be able to maybe tell you properly, but then, there are 3 circles. You have to see where your skill set is, experience is, and what makes you happiness. And then you decide what your, niche is, and then you go after it. So I guess that's where I would start from. That's where I started from. So that's one, that's the suggestion for people who are looking to get into business.
I think the Venn diagram that you talk about is the Ikigai, okay, which is going back to your Japanese influence there. And it's probably one of my big things I've noticed when I do give people advice about going to business. Firstly, I try and talk them out of it. Okay, not to keep them in a 9 to 5 state, okay, but to really nurture their motivations, because if they're really keen to do this, that will they'll recalibrate that and come back even hungrier still, okay, which is testimony to an entrepreneur. But also, I do find a lot of people that want to do business for business sake. Okay, so they see someone else making a load of money, they see dollar signs rise, and they go and do it. And for me, that's lacking a lot of purpose. That's lacking your passion. Your passion is aligned to your skill sets. Fundamentally, we don't like that. We're not passionate about things we're no good at. We don't do that. So it lies with our strengths, and the chances of success, I think, are a lot greater when you love what you do.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And I actually did not leave my 9 to 5 job in November of last year. I was still working. So my other advice would be for people to have your job, see how much you can do with your 9 to 5 job. And it was only in May of this year, which was after like 6-7 months, that I quit my job, because, I was confident that I'll be able to sustain, and grow Sales Harbor, as well as the idea of Bear Connect also came in May. So it was too much for me handling my 9 to 5 job, handling Sales Harbor and with Bear Connect. So I was like, I have to take that risk, because also it was easier for me because my husband is still working, right? So he is a project manager in a Dutch e-commerce company. There's salary coming in. So there's that, comfort level that I was able to do it. But not everyone would be in my situation. I understand, but everyone's situation is different. But yeah, I would say that keep your job till you find your feet in the business.
Exactly, and I'm from the other side of the fence, so I didn't have the partner with the income. That there was no savings, there's no nothing. It's just right. Let's go and take that leap of faith, and that's why I've got no hair left. So okay, so tell us a little bit more. So what makes SalesHarbor different? What makes it unique?
What makes it unique? That's another good question, Tom, because I have lots of competitors, right? There are tons of lead generation agencies in the market. Now, I did a competitor analysis before opening my own company. So I subscribed to their newsletters. I got on calls with the sales folks without telling them that I'm opening my own agency. I did all of that. So now everyone is good in their own field, but what we do differently is we are pay per appointment only. So our setup fee is very nominal. And then for every prospect, so what we do is we do appointment setting for a client. So the clients only pay us if the prospect shows up on the call with them, the right prospect. We have these ICP questions which we ask and all of that. And that's how we are different. Second is I am the one who talks to the client. I am the one who sends weekly reports. So I am like end-to-end involved with my clients. So they'll be talking to me, they'll be, and I have a team which manages the back-end work and everything, but I am the front end of the company for now, because I can manage with 8 clients right now, but we'll see when Bear Connect grows and when SalesHarbor grows, I might have to hire someone else. So that's our differentiator.
Okay, all right. And what's your vision with the business? Where do you see SalesHarbor being maybe in 10 years' time?
So we are going to pivot next year, Tom. So with Bear Connect, so right now what we do with SalesHarbor is we do cold emails as well as LinkedIn outreach. Now, cold email is really tough in Europe because of GDPR. It's a very tough market to crack with cold emails. Whereas in the US and Canada, it's very much simpler. Now in Australia, because I'm doing cold emails for my client in Australia, I've been getting some positive replies also from the Australian market. Now, from next year, what we are going to do is we are only going to do LinkedIn outreach with SalesHarbor. So we are removing cold emails from next year, because I am here in the Netherlands and we are targeting mostly in Europe, even though I have US clients, but we're only going to restrict to. And then when Bear Connect picks up, I'm hoping that my husband, because we want to travel, so I'm hoping my husband will be able to take care of SalesHarbor, and then I can take care of Bear Connect. So that's also in the roadmap.
Okay, all right. And I know what my LinkedIn is like. It's quite populated, and anybody listening to this who sent me a message on LinkedIn, I'm so sorry. I am so behind them. It's unbelievable. But I do get a lot of messages that come into my inbox a lot, which are a little pitchy. Okay. How do you sort of go about that first conversation?
Well, LinkedIn is your business card. I would start from there. It's your business card. Now, it's so important that your profile on LinkedIn looks great. It should tell you everything. Like you should have a proper introduction. You should have like a nice profile, a background, and you should be able to, you should be posting enough. So that's one. When anyone sends me a message, I go to their profile and I see all of that. And then I look at the message. Is that person trying to sell me? Yes, then I back off. So I think LinkedIn is all about first relationship building. So like we did not know each other, but we got connected through someone else and we connected each other on LinkedIn. I think it's all about relationship. First, you have that relationship. The person sees that you're posting enough. Then the person also sees what you do. Then slowly and steadily you start pitching your services. In a way, when you're posting often, you're already pitching your services. You don't even know, but you're already pitching your services. So, and I would say on LinkedIn, how we do is we don't send more than 3 messages. So if when I'm doing LinkedIn outreach for my clients, I don't send more than 3 messages, because I'm doing LinkedIn outreach through their profile, and I don't want them to look bad in front of their audience. So my first message is very simple. It's invite note. Sometimes I send it blank, sometimes that works, sometimes you have a nice easy go message, and then after a few days we send the second message, and after a few days we send a third message. But we also advise our clients to post regularly on LinkedIn. So yeah.
Yeah, so I agree with the posting for sure, because that gives you the social validation, the digital footprint. And I've always been impressed. Well, we do quite a bit of posting. When I remember I started doing polls every week. So, and depending on the topic, it get different interactions. But I stopped it one week. Well, I didn't stop it by choice. It is by default. I wasn't available to do it. And I had a load of messages come into me saying, where's this week's poll on that? Oh, why don't you vote on the other ones then? And I didn't know these people. They weren't acquaintances, if you like. These were people I'd never heard of, and just read the content. So I found that interesting. But you're right, people need to have social proof, okay? And so sorry for playing devil's advocate here. So you pitch it on relationship, and I like that. Relationship sales is a good way to be going, and does work in Australia. But do you feel you can harbour, choice of words there, the relationship within 3 messages?
So it's hit and miss, Tom. Can you hear me? Because there's a connection.
Yeah, we got a bit sticky then, didn't it? But
yeah. So it's hit and miss. So not every message is going to convert to a call, and not every message is going to convert to a positive response. So that's all about sales, right? Not, you won't close every deal. You won't have a good meeting on every. So, and you never know when a prospect also comes on to a call with the client. You never know how the call goes, right? Maybe he wanted to learn more. So it's all hit and miss, and that's why we reach out to as many people, and we reach out from as many profiles, and we run different campaigns. So some of the campaigns, mostly I have technology clients. So then, sometimes I run a healthcare campaign for them, or manufacturing, or an e-commerce campaign. So it's mostly hit and run, but that's the strategy. So we definitely, so a day before yesterday, I was in an event here in Amsterdam where 200 people joined, and it was by JT Fox. I had not heard his name before. So it was an ad, and I subscribed to it, an event, and he emphasized on building a personal brand versus a company brand. So a personal brand on LinkedIn is how often you're posting, what are your achievements, what have you done, what's your experience, and what are your learnings, where did you fail? You're giving value to people, right? So, and company brand is what does your company do? How can it benefit others? So he emphasized on building a personal brand and a company brand. So since last week, I've been posting every day, and my impressions from the last 1 week till date, I haven't posted today, have grown to 27,000. So last 2 weeks impressions were 27,000 versus my last one month, which was only 9,000. So that is the impact of posting every day. It just giving value. If I failed somewhere, I should tell people. So it's all about, I guess, building your personal brand and how you do it.
Yes, and that can relate to people that are on LinkedIn again, but maybe not necessarily in business or wanted to be in business, but want to enhance their career. So the visibility, especially, I would say the people that are posting less are those that are in employment, because they're not trying to build the company per se. So they probably post a little bit less themselves, and probably doing themselves an injustice. Whereas if they're front of mind, coming up as an SME, as subject matter experts, and they're personalities coming out, then the right people are going to notice this and lean into this. When an opportunity comes up, they'll be approached.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I, sometimes my mind doesn't work in a way that I have to. So this morning I didn't want to write. So usually I'm able to write in the mornings when it's quiet, when I had my first cup of coffee. So, and what I realized that I cannot write every day. So what I do is I pick one day. That's what I did last week, and we'll see the trend and the pattern going forward. I picked up Sunday, and for 3 hours, I was just writing all my daily notes, daily content, which I'm going to post on LinkedIn. That's what I did because I'm not that creative every day. It's only so one day or 2 days in a week that I'm able to write. So I make the most of it. I double down on that day.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that, and it does. It ebbs and flows, and that's normal and natural. So, and tell me, with Mr. Fox, did he bring John Travolta to the stage this time?
You've heard of him, yeah?
Yeah,
Have you
yeah,
heard of? Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
no, he did. But we saw, oh my God, so many videos of him with John Travolta. They were dancing together. Him with what is this guy? Austrian guy, Arnold. And then he was also shooting with Tom Cruise in Singapore 2 days ago. It's the new movie, and he was not supposed to talk about it. I did, but whatever. Yeah. So yeah, he spends his time with the actors, and he's also been in movies. And well, he was also trying to sell his course, and yeah, it was all about that.
Did you buy it?
I did. No, I didn't. I did feel the need, and I don't think I'm ready to invest, into that sort of thing right now, at least. Did
And to
you?
be honest, no, I haven't. But it's quite interesting to see what you've done is you've reinforced your own point. So he has a big personal brand. He has packed full of value, okay, and personality. You can engage, but the timing doesn't necessarily need to be right as well. So you're not going to get everything across the line. So the other way around, everything that you're preaching and selling, you've been on the receiving end of just there.
Yes, I agree. He also emphasized to have a podcast. Every entrepreneur should have a podcast. And I'm thinking about it now. He said you don't have to be Joe Rogan or any. It just, they have been doing it, Jay Shetty and all. These guys have been doing it for years, and that's how they have been able to build their audience. But every entrepreneur should have a podcast, and there are two reasons. First, you could invite the people you want to sell to, and that's how you give, value. And second is you can advertise your own brand and your own services. Yeah. So he also gave us a free course on how to set up your own podcast and everything. So yeah, I guess that's my next step. So I didn't take away everything because it doesn't apply to me. Some of the things what applies to me, that's how I am as a person also. So I'm going to get into podcast and TikTok. I guess it's banned in the Netherlands. I just can't access TikTok, but he said that he's getting a lot of leads from TikTok. So the algorithm, how it works on TikTok is you like, comment, and you share a link so that people are moved from TikTok to your own website or whatever. So he's able to generate a lot of leads from TikTok. And I did post on LinkedIn that I want to hire a marketing intern because I love making videos. I'm also a watercolor artist. So I also have a YouTube channel, and it's a lot of work. So I want someone who can do videos for me because it is a lot of work, creative videos. So yeah, so I have a few interviews lined up for next week where I'll hire the right person who can do videos for me, because I guess that's the next step for me.
Yeah, good. Well, perhaps he borrowed the idea of the podcast from us. That's what it is.
Yes, it's. I have been listening to all your videos, most of your videos. I really love Bosco's interview.
Yeah.
I really like that interview. I also connected with him on LinkedIn.
Yeah, stick a message on the end on the end of his video and say hello and what have you. He loves all that. He's a good guy. He's probably a good contact for you as well, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Someone to lean into, and especially when you're over here, we'll arrange a meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to.
Okay. Well, that pretty much brings us to a wrap. Okay. I know you've got your day ahead of you. I've got my evening ahead of me. If someone wants to reach out and make contact with you, ask you questions, personal, private, or business, what would be the best way for them to reach out to you?
Sure. The best way to reach out to me is through LinkedIn. I'm very active there. So my name is Mona, and my last name, it's not written here. I thought it was. It's Juneja. So it's June as the month, Juneja, Mona Juneja. The second way you could reach out to is on my website. So you can either fill up the contact form or email me at info@salesharbor.io. These are the ways. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, listen, I'm I've really enjoyed that. It's been nice and informative and sort of getting to understand the person behind the service as well. And I'm hopefully going to get you in a second time for when you do your next launch and see what's developed and how things are going. How's that sound?
Yeah, I would love to do that, Tom. I love the fact that this wasn't scripted. It was natural because, there were no, like, you did not give me questions beforehand. So I loved it that it was like a conversation flow. And I would love to speak with you again in a couple of months, and let's see where I go from here to there. And thank you for having me. It was lovely knowing you and speaking with you.
Likewise. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you for watching this episode. I hope that you did enjoy it, had lots of takeaways from it. As before, please subscribe below so you can keep on top of any new releases we have. And also, if you would like to have your story told, just reach out with me and I'd love to give you that platform. My best email address is tom@purplepatchconsulting.com. Thank you.